Awesome. Thanks so much for having me today, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm Eddie. I'm the admissions counselor here at the Stamp School of Art and Design in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and my pronouns are he, him, or they, them. And I also will have a current student joining us shortly by the name of Lucy. So you might see them join the call in the middle of the presentation. But we're hoping to have Lucy here too to answer some really important questions as a student, because we think that's also important in this time, especially of how how it's like on campus as a student, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and get into our presentation here. So I did want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the things that are happening right now in our all of our culture, life, etc. We at the Stamp School, it's important to talk about not only things of the past, but things of the present, and etc. So we did come up with an acknowledgement statement that we would like to share. The University of Michigan resides on the traditional territories of the Three Fires peoples, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. We acknowledge and honor the indigenous peoples on whose ancestral lands we now live and learn. Just as we acknowledge the ancestry of the land in which we live, we also feel compelled to speak to both the reality and serious impacts of racial injustice in our country. We acknowledge the active role the Stamp School of Art and Design must play in the conversation around these injustices and in forging a path towards positive change. As many of you may be actively engaged in speaking out against racial injustice, we want you to know that we value the rights of our incoming students to exercise their voices. We support our students to use their voices to speak out against racism. Freedom of speech is a bedrock principle of our community, and your admissions to Stamps is not jeopardized by exercising your constitutional rights. We stand in solidarity and are here to support all communities affected. Black Lives Matter. Thank you for giving me a moment to read that statement. Again, we think it's just super important to really speak to that. And also as a school that really values diversity, equity, and inclusion, that statement is also important to us as well. So I would love to now move on to talking a bit about the program. So our curriculum overall is just an is open-ended, and that sounds pretty scary, but as I'll explain to you, you'll kind of see what I mean by it's a pretty open-ended curriculum. So the Stamps curriculum is a blend of studio work and academic work. Students are encouraged to create work that is informed, innovative, and able to address the real challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. We don't limit ourselves to what we call the studio bubble, and we get out into the world, collaborate with people in a wide variety of fields, and we make a difference. At Stamps, we believe that artists and designers deserve every tool in the toolbox to bring their big ideas to life. This means that we have just one major, art and design. Creative versatility is why 97% of Stamps graduates are either employed in a creative field or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. You may be asking, what if you're just interested in painting, or if you're just interested in specific media as a primary focus? You can do that too. At Stamps, students explore specific interests with depth and rigor while also fueling it with classes in different media. How will your painting practice grow from an animation course or applied in a digital setting through a graphic design course? Our advisors work with students on a one-on-one capacity to ensure that students can create their own curricular experiences, tailored to each student's unique interests. All of your classes are educational all of your classes and educational requirements fuel the interests you're most excited about. Every Stamp student is required to study abroad. Of course, right now, due to COVID, things are pretty flexible there right now. But on a standard basis, our international experience requirement gives students a firsthand experience with social responsibility and global citizenship. It helps see a larger context for art and design and gets them thinking about the global issues that their work can address. We have staff and programs here to help you explore study abroad options and find the right one for you. Another unique part of the curriculum is that there are opportunities for cross-disciplinary collaboration. At the University of Michigan, you have access to experts, peers, and resources in history, science, engineering, performing arts, and so many other areas. Working together with all these people means that your art and design is going to be better. It allows you to build your work in a strong foundation of critical thinking and alongside other students and faculty who are creative problem solvers of all kinds. Our students are art in residence in campus, space labs, visualizing and interpreting concepts of heliophysics and the magnetic shield. They collaborate with talented musicians and bring sound-based art installations to life. They work with software engineers to make their conceptual design for an app a reality with UM's University of Michigan Center of Entrepreneurship to take the app to market. So who are you going to collaborate with? What will you make? Like there's just so many possibilities. And so on the next slide, we have just a short video that can really speak a little bit more to the STAMPS experience. And I'm going to go ahead and play that for you. And please let me know if you have any trouble hearing our sound here.
Your vision is unique and requires a custom fit, and the STAMPS School of Art and Design is here to help.
As artists and designers, we do not work in a vacuum. Within our curriculum, having the opportunity to learn how to responsibly and respectfully engage with clients and the community will benefit our students tremendously when they get out into the world. In my class, Social Spaces, students work directly with a farmer's market, and having that opportunity really enables the students to see their work out in the world in action and not just critiqued in the studio classroom. Students see that they can make a difference through art and design.
My internship was at Moriyumias. It's in Ogatsu, Japan. As an intern, I got to work as kind of like their marketing promotions person. It's a really big honor and privilege to be able to be funded by the university to go abroad somewhere. Above all else, what you learn from a study abroad experience or just like anywhere international, you kind of gain that understanding that, you know, we're all human. Learning how to harmonize with people that you wouldn't expect to be working together with is kind of what you also get out of that experience.
The way you work with other art students is entirely different than the way you work with, say, like an engineer. I would say don't get tied down in thinking that you can only take classes in one vein. A lot of my friends always had this perspective that they only could take classes in graphic design because they wanted to be graphic designers. My experience was I took classes in animation and design, woodworking, and product design. Then all of the courses I took that are outside the discipline. I think those help me understand, one, the creative process more, and two, kind of how to work with other people better instead of just other graphic designers.
The identity and politics class really encouraged students to be reflective about their own experience, but also to think about their experience in a larger context. How do you become an ally? How do you speak with people? How do you speak for people in a respectful way? And I think that those interpersonal skills were really kind of honed within the classroom environment.
STAMPS has provided like a lot of networking opportunities with professionals that visit and alumni, as well as being a part of different internship programs that allow me to like network with other professionals, but also like within the community. So I met with Brian, he's an advisor here, and we were like thinking up ideas of how to create more outreach programs for the people who are interested in animation here. So I suggested Floyd Norman because Floyd Norman is like iconic in animation. So that came to fruition. Floyd came here. We got to see his movie that's based on his life, as well as go to dinner with him, talk more in depth about his work. The way that STAMPS is set up with the curriculum, it encourages you to like reach out into other disciplines. That translates over to reaching out to other people in those other disciplines to like continue your research beyond the university.
It was the first day of my sophomore studio class, and my professor asked as an icebreaker question to everybody, what do you doodle? My doodles are these kind of abstract shapes, and it came to me, wow, why don't I really consider what I doodle and like turn them into full prints? It just kind of came together as an experiment and came to be something that I ended up being really proud of when it was finally done.
El Camino is an interactive installation that incorporates photography as well as found objects to share and also honor those who have lost their lives crossing the border. The class that I made that project for was Race, Gender, and Sexuality in Photography, and that was taught by Carol Jacobson, my hero, my mentor. She really helped me develop the interactive aspect and pushed me to talk about a theme and a concept that is significant to me, but it's also really difficult to talk about because it's sort of revealing like really sensitive information. I feel like all freshmen just start out trying to figure out like who they are, like with their identity as an artist. It's all about really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and trying different things to be able to find that pocket that you feel the most comfortable in.
Awesome. So that is the end of my presentation. I've dropped the email in the chat. If you want to go ahead and make sure you grab that, contact us anytime if you do have any additional questions or if you just want to say hi.
Oh, that was perfect timing, good information, and man, you were right on point. On that note, I do think we're out of time. You're perfect on time, actually. If you guys want to reach out and ask any more questions, like you said, contact information is in the chat. Yes, it is.
That email is in the chat. That'll hit all of our emails as admissions counselors. So
perfect. Eddie, thank you so much. So everybody, thank you for attending. Have a great day. And I'm going to go ahead and end this session.